If you want to help your children develop a strong connection with Ramadan or your students, but you don't know how or you don't have time to plan it, then this post is for you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Sahra Usman from MeccaCentricEducation.com, and I help Muslim homeschoolers and teachers with teaching strategies on the curriculum and how to nurture an Islamic worldview using the academic skills that you are already teaching your curriculum. And today I am sharing with you 9 teaching ideas and resources that you can implement during this blessed month. Even if you already are, or even if you already have your curriculum planned out, or perhaps you have nothing, don't worry. I know we're in the first week of Ramadan, but the amazing thing about these ideas that I have is that they are really timeless. I mean, I've catered them for Ramadan. However, the skills and the activities are transferable because they don't focus on any one particular curriculum topic, but they focus on skill building, character building, and nurturing a sense of spirituality throughout the learning process. Now, I've created all these resources for free for you. Alhamdulillah, you can find the link at the bottom. You can download it from free from my website, MeccaCentricEducation.com, or where you're watching it here. And let me just go over them quickly so you know exactly what they are. If you want a more in-depth training on each particular activity, then last year I did a podcast episode. If you go to podcast.meccacentriceducation.com/009, then you can listen to the podcast episode where I go through each activity and I break down what that activity is and the reasoning behind each activity. Now, I won't go through all of that in this video. However, I will go over some of it just so that when you do download it, you know what you're doing with each paper, inshallah. All right, so let's begin. First off, Ramadan is all about growth, right? I know we're still in school, so you may be homeschooling, you may have your own curriculum, you may have a more laid-back approach, or you may be a teacher teaching your students virtually online due to our current situation with the pandemic and all. You can still have adapted them. With the first time I created this last year, and if you do listen to the podcast episode, I was given it was more geared towards Islamic school teachers, and it was more about implementing some of these activities required a large group of some sort. However, that's not necessary at all. You can still implement it in your homes or virtually if you're working with students online, inshallah. Now, let's begin. Like I said, Ramadan is about growth, okay? When you enter Ramadan, you expect to come out different in Ramadan. So all of these activities are surrounded around it. They take those things into consideration. So they're not necessarily about building specific academic skills on specific curriculum topics, which is what I like to focus on with Mecca-centric education. However, they are more about nurturing the whole child, okay? And like I said, they are transferable. The themes are Ramadan based. The activities are focused on Ramadan. However, my goal is to give you ideas and inspiration so that you can take these activities and then continue them outside of Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala. So let's just quickly go over them. And again, you can find all these resources that I've created for you. I'll just quickly go through them. If you want to pause this and download it, you can do that and then come back and go through it with me. You can do that as well. All right, so the first idea here I have is getting your child or your student to think about all the different Ramadan themes and teachable moments during this blessed month. Okay, so in Ramadan, we already know there are tons and tons, mashallah, of themes such as mercy, forgiveness, charity, and the list goes on. Being kind to your neighbors, and especially during this time, at the time of recording this, we are in the social distancing era, and so connecting with family members becomes more something we're doing a lot more. So even building family ties, these are all themes that can be discussed during Ramadan. So if you can get kids to just explore all the different themes in Ramadan, If you want to extend the activity, you can do that by getting them to pick a theme and write on that topic. It could be a good opportunity to teach them about themes that come up in literature. Understanding themes I think is an important skill. It helps with reading comprehension as well, and it also helps with being focused in certain on certain topics. And in the Quran, there are so many themes as well. So during this blessed month, we can explore all the different themes that are discussed in Ramadan. And if you want to focus on one particular theme, you can do that as well. But this is just something simple. Most of these activities, as you can see, are more so for perhaps grades 2 and above. You can adapt them as you go. So if you have teenage children, or if you have even adult children, high school children, you can still adapt them. But some of them may seem no, you can. They're pretty much adaptable, inshallah. Another activity is Ramadan journal prompts. So here I've listed about 15 journal prompts, and this idea really comes from my own practices. I write in a journal every day, and I use some of these prompts not only in Ramadan but outside of Ramadan, and they are just prompts that are related to practicing gratitude, in your intentions. What is one thing, for example, what is one thing you can do more of during this month to get closer to Allah? What is the hardest part about Ramadan for you, and what can you do to help you cope? So all these prompts are designed to develop the child spiritually. They're designed to develop the character of the child, to think about what was difficult and how they overcame that. And at the same time, it's a great writing activity. It's a great writing practice as well. The next activity is a circle time activity that you can do. I got this from Tribes Learning, Tribes Community Learning. I forget what it's called, but Tribes is kind of like a program or a system, and they have all these different great ways of creating inclusivity and individuality and a sense of belonging in the classroom. And so that's me. This is one activity that is great to do in a group setting, but you can do it if you have a group of kids, your own children, or even if it's just one child, you can still do it. And the goal really is to cut down on talking time, but still give the child an opportunity to express themselves. And how that's done is that you, for example, instead of asking the child, oh, what did you do today? Or what did you do last night? Sometimes you don't have time for each child to share their story, right? Because it'll lead it would lead to you cutting them off if they're going too long, and maybe you just don't have that kind of time. However, That's Me, the activity that's called That's Me, is you say a prompt, and if it relates to them, then they stand up and they say, that's me. So for example, I'm fasting today. So anybody who that concerns will say, that's me. I fasted 1 day or more so far. Anybody who that prompt fits will get up and say, that's me. I will fast at least 1 day this month. We had guests over for iftar this weekend. I visited family this weekend. I don't know if you're all doing that, but I helped prepare iftar last night. I don't like samosas. I love dates. I don't eat dates. I delivered iftar to a neighbor, friend, or a family or friend. So the idea is just it's a great energizer as well, just to get the kids energized. Like, you could do it during halftime if you have a regular learning schedule. It could be a great way to start the day. It's just a great energizer to use. There are many different energizers. Maybe I will go over other types of energizers another time, but it's just a way to kind of like shift up the schedule. And another activity that's similar is having a community circle. Again, this can be done as an energizer, or it can be done, I recommend to do it at the end of the learning day or the beginning, or you can fit it into your schedule how you please. And the idea is to create a sense of belongingness, and as well as giving the child an opportunity to express their individuality. So the way it works is that you stand in a circle. I mean, depending on how many children you have in your home, you could be in a circle, or you can be face to face if you have just one child or two or whatever. then you every day you have a different prompt, okay? And the prompt could be something as simple as, this is a pen, but it really isn't a pen. It is a microphone. I use it to give lectures, or I use it to give a khutbah. Or this is a pen, but it's really not a pen. It's actually a miswak. So it's just something for them to do, give them an opportunity to be creative, to be silly, no judgments. And also I have a bunch of prompts here. Some of them are Ramadan is, and they complete it. If I was a food at the iftar table, I would be, I'm grateful to Allah for, so they're like kind of open-ended prompts. Okay. Another activity is public speaking. All right. So the title of the topic is, so getting them to, if obviously this will require more planning and it will require more lessons for the child. Maybe it'll take you a week or so. But if you wanted to create an opportunity for your child or your students to develop their public speaking skills this month, then this is a template that you can use. They can pick any topic. You can use the themes activities that you did in the beginning if you want to focus on themes, or they can pick any topic at all, and you can pick any style of writing, whether that be research writing or it be persuasive writing. Obviously it's not writing, but I mean speaking. You use the similar skills, which is generating ideas and then organizing them, and then editing and perfecting your voice through that. So that's a template that you can use for that. My favorite activity, I did this when my daughter was, I think she was 4 or 5. I always say I want to revisit it. I just didn't get a chance. But obviously, and it doesn't have to be during Ramadan, but I love this idea, and it is creating a Ramadan photo essay. So perhaps you don't have time to do a writing lesson. Perhaps you don't have time to do a public speaking lesson and train them in that. But what you can get them to do is do a photo essay. So what a photo essay is, basically they'll take pictures throughout Ramadan. So when we did it in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, I believe it was. And I did it for a group of children ages 4 to 10, I believe it was. But I mean, this is definitely a great activity for older children as well. So they will take pictures of different things that they are doing during Ramadan that represent what their Ramadan experience was like. Okay, so it could be a picture of them at the iftar table. It could be a picture of them, perhaps a picture of the time when they wake up for qiyam or iftar, or it could be a picture of anything that they find is important, valuable to them. So they take a bunch of pictures, then they select from those pictures six of them. Then they create a PowerPoint presentation or a slideshow on those 6. And then depending on the level of your child, you can have them write a caption for each picture. Or you could just have them explain what each picture is and why they chose that picture and what that picture means. And there are so many academic benefits that go along with this. First of all, it's fun. Secondly, it's spiritually beneficial because it gives the child a reason, something to reflect over and to appreciate, to really think deeply about why I'm choosing this picture and what it means for my Ramadan. And academically, it's beneficial because it forces the child to select to select the most important pictures, and then obviously they're writing a caption, which is a summary or summarizing the main idea of this particular picture. So that's simple and easy to do. It doesn't require too much prep. What else? Okay, so here I just have 2 posters. One says drop everything and recite, and another says drop everything and pray. So just incorporate it. I don't know where you're listening from, but in where I'm from, in Ontario, Canada, they have something called DEAR program, which is drop everything and read. And so about maybe 10 to 20 minutes in the day, that is baked into the schedule in the school system. It's baked into the schedule where everything is stopped and the students just pick up something to read. So if you have, maybe you could put this poster up and then you can somehow bake that into your schedule. Okay, drop everything, now it's time for adhkar, or drop everything, now it's time for reciting Quran. It could be a 10-minute thing or whatever. And last but not least, this one you could do first. you can still do it now, even though Ramadan has started, or you can even do it at the near the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and it's just writing your Ramadan goals. And I'm big on goal setting and all things personal development. So this is just a template for that. My goals. Why is this goal important to you? What's the next step or the first step? And so far, how am I doing? So if they come back every couple of days or at the end of the week to evaluate how they are doing. So that's what I have prepared for you. I hope you'll benefit from it. Obviously, you don't have to do all 9 ideas, but inshallah, some of them will prove to be beneficial to you. Now, if you want more details about each particular activity, the reasoning behind it and things like that, then do visit my podcast episode that I did on this specific topic, and I have the same resources, but this time around I just changed it up a little bit because I know most of you are probably homeschooler, you're at home, and if you are a teacher, you're most likely teaching virtually. So I just made those little changes, and I dropped one activity, which was planning your assessments around the topic of Ramadan. That's all I wanted to share with you today, inshallah. I'm Zahra Usman, and you can find more information and more resources at meccacentriceducation.com. I hope you like that. I hope it's beneficial, and do leave a comment. Assalamu alaikum.